Hi, my name is Ida Esmaeili, and I am originally from Sweden and Iran, and I am the playwright of Tenderly. Um, I wrote this play for various reasons. It actually started as an argument between my partner and I. I'm in a multicultural relationship. My boyfriend is American, and I, like I said, I'm Swedish and Iranian. And I'm currently living in the US. I've been here for almost 8 years now on a student visa. And US immigration is complicated. And especially being in a relationship whilst having to deal with immigration is also complicated in and of itself. And it brought about all of this pressure to our relationship that neither of us really anticipated. And that's kind of where the play was born was out of all these complications and in trying to figure that out. I also wrote the play because I'm not just in a multicultural relationship. I come from a multicultural relationship. My mother is Swedish and my father is Iranian. He fled from Iran in the early 80s. So multiculturalism and religions and this like concoction of nationalities and cultures is just something that I've grown up with. And watching my parents for 32 years now tread the line and that tension between the East and the West and the cultures that they've been raised with and the culture that they're trying to raise me and my siblings with. That's kind of where this play was born out of, trying to explore that tension. What I love about these characters, well, they're wildly personal to me. They're born out of they're born out of and inspired by so many people that I love, that I love because of both I think what's so beautiful about both Alina and Will, and I will say, whilst they are based on me and people in my life, they're also wildly different from those people. And what I love about them is that they are so unapologetically flawed, and human, and they're willing to learn, and they're stubborn, and they're passionate, and they love really hard, and they're not afraid to love. And even Alina especially, who is very close to me, even when she is afraid to love, she just says, you know what, I'm just gonna do it anyway, and just see what happens. And I think that's so exciting, and it's been really exciting to spend so much time with them, because I've learned so much about myself through them, and I've been able to write parts of myself where I've been like, oh, okay, like that's a reaction that I would have, and perhaps I shouldn't, but like leaning into that, I don't know, I love so many things about them, but most of all, it's their three-dimensionality. It was important to me to cast an Iranian woman in the role of Alina for many reasons. One of the reasons why I came to playwriting from an acting background, I've been an actor for most of my life, was the fact that I saw such a lack of Middle Eastern characters on stage, and especially the American stage, and in film and TV. Most of the time when we see Middle Eastern characters, they're either B characters or they're often cast in the role of the villain, especially in a post-millennium America. And I wanted to move away from that, because I think that Middle Eastern people are beautifully three-dimensional, but also beautifully ordinary in ways that most characters in the canon are. And I wanted to see, a normal family play, or a living room play, or a Chekhovian play, or a two-person play about a relationship that centers a Middle Eastern person, and that touches on her culture, and that does center her culture, but also just casts her as a person. And yeah, that's something that's always been very important to me as a writer, is to write Middle Eastern people and to give them a voice that is moving away from what we see very often. I hope they walk away with a newfound empathy for themselves and for their own situations. We've been in this very odd situation for the past couple of months where we've been incapable of holding the people that we love, which is something that is really prevalent for both Alina and Will, who is dealing with his father that is dying, and Alina, who is thousands of miles away from her parents, and neither of them ultimately are able to touch their people, to hold their people, which is something that everyone can relate to, especially right now. And I hope that people walk away feeling that they saw themselves in these characters, even if their cultural situations are different, but just in seeing two people that are yearning to be together and trying to figure out how to be together. I also hope, in the vein of empathy, that people do walk away with some more knowledge and insight of cultures and situations that are different than their own. A lot of the times we see the world through the lens of our own upbringings and of our parents and of the people that we surround ourselves with, and so it's very difficult to step into other people's shoes. And that's a conversation that the world has also been having the past couple of months. And I think that something that I really would love is if people could try to step, maybe not a full foot, but a toe into the shoe of a Middle Eastern person or someone of that culture, and understand that, you are very different from me, but you are also the same, and you come from a place of love, and you come from a place of family, and that's the main thing that I would like people to walk away thinking about. I can't wait for you to see the show, and I genuinely hope that you enjoy it.